and voila, you're done. The new feature, that's what rolling out is, that's all it takes. All right, so enough talking about feature flags. Let's see them in action. So what you're looking at is my resource group in Azure that holds the resources for this particular project. And one of the resources is going to be an app configuration, right? So this will hold all the configuration for my application, including my feature flags. So to look at my flags, we'll go to feature management, and notice I have one feature flag right now, and it's called the new about flag, and it's currently in the off position. So if we jump to my application and we refresh this, okay, here it is. Look at across the top, there's an About tab, and it just says About. If I click into it, that's my current About page. Hooray for that. All right, let's jump back to the portal, and we're going to turn on our particular flag. So here's our portal. We'll turn on the flag. That's all it takes. Now let's jump back to the application, and we'll refresh. And now check out the About. Instead of About, it now says New About. And if we click it, it takes us to the new About page. Pretty cool, right? All right, so as you can see, these feature toggles, really easy enough to toggle it on and off while you're live, while your website is running. So you can also do this programmatically as well, turning the flags on and off using the CLI. Now to implement, super easy to do as well. So let me show you. Here's my code. You can implement your flags both in the view and also the code. So let's check out the view first. This right here is your standard .NET view. You can add a feature flag by adding this tag, the feature tag, with the name of your feature, and with negate is equal to true right here. What that means is if the flag is off, then go ahead and output this chunk of HTML. Otherwise, if the flag is on, the new about flag is on, output this chunk of HTML. So what this is saying is if the flag is off, just output about, and if the flag is on, you output the new about, right? That's what we saw. All right, so in my code, this is how you would implement it in code. So I'm using .NET, and these flags are supported in a bunch of different languages. You can do this in two ways. First is by adding this annotation to an action in your controller. So if the flag is on, this action, it will exist. And if the flag is off, this action, it won't even exist. You can also do this inline with the if statement. So here I can say if, and I use a feature manager object, if it's enabled, and I pass in the feature flag that I'm checking, and if that flag is enabled, go ahead and run this chunk of code inside the if statement. And if the flag is off, you do the else, right? All right, so to see this running, let's set a breakpoint, and we'll go back to the app, and we'll go ahead and trigger this. So let's jump to the home page, click on New About, and it will hit our breakpoint. Hooray for that. And now, when we walk over this if statement is going to evaluate, and you'll see that the flag is on, so it goes into the if statement and runs this chunk of code. Now, when we jump into the view, this is my About view. And if the feature is on, it's going to go ahead and output this chunk of code. And if the feature is off, like negate is equal to true, right, it's going to output this chunk of HTML. And if the feature is on, it's going to output this chunk of HTML. So, feature flags, they're super powerful and they're super easy to implement, both in your code and also up in Azure as well. All right, finally, Tailwind traders, they've got one thing that they're worried about, and that's quality. So moving as quickly as they will be moving, they're not going to have time to do full end-to-end functional testing. So they need to shift left and build quality into their app as they're writing it versus trying to tack on quality at the end, like the way traditional software is QA'd. So one of the things they did to improve quality is they're requiring every check-in to go through a pull request or a code review. However, they quickly ran into some problems with their pull request workflow. First, pull requests were getting lost in the shuffle. People would either miss or ignore pull requests, and they would start piling up. Now, there are some amazing benefits with pull requests, but if you don't do them immediately and they start piling up like this, your dev work comes to a grinding stop. Now, another problem they had when reviewing the code changes in a PR is that they really wanted to see the changes running in a live test system.